Seahawks wide receiver Tyler Lockett. And Tyler, we know usually a bye week, not that much happens, but you kind of made the biggest news of the bye week. You and your wife Lauren announced that your first child is on the way. Big congrats to both of you. So did you get a lot of guys blowing up your phone? What was the reaction to that like?
Oh, well, first and foremost, man, appreciate it. And, I think we did get a good amount of people reaching out or even commenting on the statuses and stuff. But, it was great just to be able to hear from people and to hear them say congratulations and just to be able to celebrate, kind of like our journey of being able to be parents.
Okay, now did people offer unsolicited advice? Were there a lot of texts saying, oh, good luck, get ready for this, and so on and so forth, or just kind of more congratulatory?
Yeah, not so much. Obviously I got a lot of friends that got kids and stuff, so, even before we even got to the point where we're expecting, they were like, hey, man, be ready for this, or, what you gonna do when this happens, and, so, I mean, it was good to kind of learn as you kind of watch your friends go through it and stuff, and now you got a chance to be able to kind of like start something new within your household.
Yeah, fantastic stuff there. So outside of, a baby announcement, what's a typical bye week like for you? Do you decompress, get away completely from football, relax a little, stay in a routine? Or what have you kind of learned that is the best bye week routine for you?
It's a little bit of both, but I think as you get older, you still want to make sure that you're doing a little bit of stuff so that way you're not sluggish coming into the next week. But I think, you also want to try to be able to get away because this is the 1 week that you have to be able to kind of reset and to be able to get your mind right as you get ready for the second half of the season. So, I think we did a great job. I kind of chilled a little bit, got to go to Suncadia Resorts out here. And so, just kind of tried to enjoy Washington.
Yeah, has that routine changed at all for you in terms of how quickly you ramp back up when you get out of that bye week? I know we have seen guys who they do want to just get off their feet for a while, but then you mentioned it, you don't want to come out sluggish in a big game like this coming up.
Yeah, I think it just depends on each person. I think for a lot of people that are older, you want to just be active, whether it's just lifting or whether it's just being able to get some movements in, like just whatever kind of like works for you and helps you be able to come back, ready to play at a high level. But like you said, coming from bye week, we got a big time matchup, as we get ready to play one of the teams in our division. So you just hope that everybody did what they needed to do on the bye week to come in and be able to try to lead us to a win.
Tyler, what was the mood like back on Monday when you guys got back there? Some excitement, some anticipation to get back to it, or just, first day of school type feeling? What was it like when you guys got back into the office?
It was a bunch of refreshment, I think, but again, we had practice on Monday, so, we were ready to get back into it going into the week, knowing that we kind of had 4 practices this week. So, everybody was just kind of ready to go, let go of the stuff that kind of happened that week before and just say, like, hey, man, like, this is kind of where we got to get to be able to, achieve what we want to achieve. And, everybody just got to keep putting their head down and just working.
Tyler, coaches will usually talk to us about self-scouting, that they're able to finally go back and kind of look at everything they've done during this bye week. Does that apply to players at all? Do you guys go back and self-scout, or do you just come back in and then focus on the next opponent?
I think it depends. I think each player kind of does what works for them. Like, for me, I kind of self-scout, while I'm in the games, and I kind of got an understanding of, like, how I attack each game and what I'm showing each game, and, I see what I need to work on going within the week. So I think for each person, it's a little bit different. Like, obviously, for coaches, there's a lot of plays right there where they want to be able to see if there's any tails or any things that we're giving away that's allowing people to see what we're doing. And so sometimes it's good just to be able to go back because you get to see what we're really good at, what we need to work on, what we need to keep adding in. So, a lot of that type of stuff.
Yeah, was that kind of the messaging this week, just reinforcing what you guys have done well or things that you might need to have to adapt to the rest of the way?
Yeah, just saying, like, hey, guys, this is where we are in the first half of the season. Obviously, from the start of the season, this is where we wanted to be. Some of the areas we achieved it, some areas we didn't. But, just being able to kind of understand what's been hurting us and also what's been helping us.
Kind of feels like a long time ago now, but that last game against the Rams, we saw Jackson have a huge game, and we saw Cody White make some key catches. When younger guys like that kind of get into the league and as they start to develop, do they come to you for advice? Do you take it upon yourself to kind of give them some input, or how does that relationship work?
I mean, it kind of depends, man. I think sometimes if it's things there, we'll kind of talk and give advice. Sometimes they may ask, but, I think there's a good amount of people on our team that's able to help or has experience, such as DK as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you just try to do the best that you can to be able to help, put people in positions or prepare them to what to possibly expect as they get the opportunities to kind of be able to go out there and showcase their skills and make some plays.
Oh, and talking about DK for a second, I know that has to be kind of killing him not playing those last couple games. Do you kind of go over to him, give him some advice, reassure him at all, or is this just something that you let him kind of get his own path of dealing with that recovery process?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of the player, being able to figure out what they need to do to be able to get right, just because you don't know how that person's feeling. You don't know what the pain is like, so it's hard to really say or put things into words about what, somebody should do or how they should go about it. So, you just try to give encouragement and kind of not over harp on it or under harp on it, but you just try to be able to do what feels right and what's necessary in order to keep, what he needs to do on track so that he can be able to continue to help us win these games.
Hey, Tyler, in talking about the recovery process as it relates to the bye week, has it kind of changed for you at all in terms of a week-to-week throughout the course of your career? When you were younger, I'm sure you come in, you feel okay, or maybe you feel great after a game, but now recovering between games when you don't have a bye week, how has that changed and become maybe more important for you?
It just depends how much running I did,
Mm-hmm.
and how much running it looked like going throughout the week. Because sometimes, I might be able to go out there and I'm running a whole bunch. Sometimes, depending on kind of like how our game plan is, I might not be running as much. So, I mean, it kind of depends. But, I kind of just do what I think is necessary that week, whether it's suction cups or whether it's dry needling, or whether it's cold or hot tub or steam room, sauna. You just kind of find kind of a balance of what it is that you need to do. If I need to stretch, I'm more so in the steam room. If I need to do some soft tissue work or scraping, like I go do that. So those are the things that I kind of do to try to get right.
Okay, so what time does your morning start then to start doing all those things?
It depends. We don't really have our first meeting until 9, so I mean, even if I get in at 8, I got a whole hour to do whatever I need to do before we kind of start. And then a lot of that stuff you can get done even while you're getting ready for practice, because we have a whole hour before we go practice too. So, I mean, you got pretty much 2 hours to kind of do what needs to be done before you get back into it.
Tyler Lockett with us here on Wyman and Bob, getting ready for this Seahawks 49ers matchup. Tyler, this week, I think just yesterday, we heard that a new guy had arrived. N'Keal Harry comes in. When someone arrives in the middle of the season, I'm sure you've dealt with this over the course of your career here, how do you guys as an offensive unit welcome him in? Do you let him know kind of the logistics or what to expect? Or is there a process when a new guy arrives in the middle of a season?
I mean, you just try to, reel them in. And, obviously they got to be able to adapt because it's a lot different, whether they've been somewhere else or whether they were at home. And so you just try to be able to help them as much as you can. Obviously, they got to learn the playbook and stuff like that. And, every person is different when it comes to having to learn a playbook. But, you just try to be able to help as much as you can so they can be able to learn as fast as they can so they can go out there and play without thinking.
Tyler, when we look at this 49ers matchup, do you guys build it up anymore? I mean, we talk about it. We hear and fans are like, hey, this is a rivalry game. This is a big game. But how do you approach a matchup like this?
I mean, you just got to approach the game understanding that, we don't really have room for error anymore. So you got to be able to just approach this game like it's a playoff game. Like we're already kind of in playoff mode. So you got to be able to win, because the games that you don't win, it makes it very, very more difficult to be able to get into the playoffs.
Tyler, one more very important question before I let you go. We noticed the Sonics cleats that you had on a couple games ago. What was the motivation behind that, and why did you feel like it was important to do that?
I just wanted to be able to give a shout-out to the city, and I know everybody's kind of waiting for the news, for them to be able to come back to the team. And obviously I'm from Oklahoma, so, they ended up leaving to go to Oklahoma City Thunder. But, I think that, eventually the city will have a team, and, they for sure deserve to have a team. And so I just wanted to be able to bring that excitement back and just support as, the whole entire city awaits the news for the Sonics to come back.
It was a great look. I loved it, and I think everyone certainly appreciated it as well. So yeah, we'll be waiting with you. Well, Tyler, thanks again for joining us, and once again, a big congrats to you and your wife, Lauren, on the impending arrival of your first child.
Oh, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.